All right, here we are in round one, and a couple of certain deaths, which are high on our curve, but I think this is a keep. So let's see what our opponent wants to do. Play Forest and Dryad. Pass the turn back. So yeah, if we draw land, we have Gloom Widow. Okay, so yeah, hopefully we can draw a third land and just keep things going. Like if we drew like a swamp and then a forest, that'd be a pretty good progression. Okay, our opponent plays a Graph Rats. So, we get a Pacifist. So, I don't think I want to trade the Dryad. So we don't hit a land, but we'll play the Pacifist. And, yeah, I don't want to trade Dryad for Graph Rats. But we will leave our Pacifist. Okay, he's got a Thermo Alchemist. Okay, so we hit our land. So I think here, if we cast Oath of Liliana, he's got to sacrifice one of his creatures, and if he sacrifices the Graph Rats, we can attack with our Dryad. But I think we have the same play next turn too, so I'll just play a Gloom Widow. And then pass it back. This way, because like getting like a Graph Rats with an Oath of Liliana isn't great. I mean, and then we really just get in for 1 damage. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Okay, so we get our Pacifist to transform. So now we have our 4/4, a 3/3. Ah, perfect. So I think we just attack with these two and see what our opponent does. We could Oath first and kind of force it, but if he lets his guys die, that's fine. And then we have I mean, we could Mind Rack Demon pre-combat, see if we like just hit Delirium perfectly. But yeah, that's actually what we're gonna do. I don't think it's super likely we hit Delirium, but I think it's reasonably better. And we do hit Delirium. So yeah, we just did it perfectly. We get to attack with everything. And I think this should put our opponent in a tough spot. They can chump, or like chump and use a combat trick. But yeah, it looks like our opponent has something. Probably. Nope. So yeah, I think our opponent's in a lot of trouble right now. Unless they can deal with this Mind Rack Demon and have mana up. Because like next turn we can Oath of Liliana, get rid of if they only have their Thermal Alchemist, and then they're even if they kill the Mind Rack Demon, they're taking what's that, 10? So we'll see. Opponent has something. Something pretty big. So Alchemist Greeting to take down our guy. Alright. Yeah. That's not bad for us. We're gonna... Yeah, now we just Oath of Liliana attack. For 10, and then our opponent has to play like 3 creatures. And if we draw a land, we still win. So yeah, I think this deck is like, this was pretty much exactly the perfect string of draws we could have put together for this deck, and then we hit perfectly off Mind Rack Demon. But I mean, that's the power of a card like that when you're running enough, like a reasonable amount of enablers. Because it can just come in and take over the game completely. So let's see what our opponent has. I mean, he's playing something. So he's not just going to concede. I think like a Ruthless Disposal with like you'd have to have like a 1-drop and then like Ruthless Disposal. No, that wouldn't even work because we have 3 creatures that are all lethal. He'd have to like exile this Grapple from our graveyard. Yeah, alright. So we'll go to sideboard. We're against black-red with blue splash. So I don't think we need the Gloom. Like, I do think this is an interesting consideration, but I think we have a lot to do on turn 3 in general. A lot of powerful turn 3 options. And I didn't see enough of his deck to really think of any other sideboard thing, so we'll just run it back. See if we can do it again. Get a little lucky. Little lucky again. So we get we have the Dryad, and it's a slower start, but I think it's still a keep. Turn 1 Dryad and like turn 3 Crow of Dark Tidings is a good start. Our opponent's mulliganing down to 4 cards, so that can't be good for our opponent. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, he can, if he has 4 cards that just deal with our first 3 threats, and these aren't very powerful. These aren't our powerhouse threats, so well, never mind. There's one. So we'll attack with our Dryad, and then play a Swamp. Next turn we can get Crow down, and we need to get 7 for this. This would I think just wreck our opponent on a mull to 4. There's no way he could come back from that. Okay, so we're gonna attack first, See what our opponent wants to do. Like maybe he has a bounce spell or something. And then we'll play the crow here. Just keep a good clock. Oops, I clicked on the Revenant. Oops. So that's not what we wanted to do. But yeah. Definitely wanted to play the crow in that situation. I think we attack and then we can emerge this out, right? This is 7, so have 4 mana, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so let's attack because you can't block this, right? Yeah. And if he wants to trade with his mentor for Dryad, that's fine. We can see the last 2 cards in his hand and get a 5/5 down. And then, like, next turn we could play Crow plus Wolf. So, cast with the Merge. 3. Okay. So if we hit... Let's see. Oh, wow. So we just get Fiery Temper and Behold the Beyond. Yeah. So we leave our opponent with 0 cards in hand. 4/2 versus our 5/5. Yeah. This does not look great. Now our opponent's in complete top deck mode. Has to deal with our 5/5. And okay. That's something. Shrinks it down, but I mean, we're still now I think we're just playing Crow and Quilled Wolf still this turn. We're attacking with our Dryad. Like, it holds back our Mindbender. But with Crow, Quilled Wolf, we're just going to be able to attack. We have the 6th land, so yeah. We have the 6th land, so we can pump this to be a 6/6. It's just not it's not looking tremendously great for our opponent, because we can attack. We can even attack with everything, and like even if he trades his mentor for the Mindbender, yeah, our opponent couldn't come back from the Mull to 4 plus Mindbender, so that wasn't really much of a game. But the deck's pretty powerful. We'll see you in round 2.